spoilers here. This is The Walking Dead, an analysis of issue 1 compared to the TV show, and why I think the TV show is better than the comic book. I know that's a rare statement to say because usually other media like TV shows and movies usually butcher the comic book material. I'm not true to the comic book material, and the comic book material is actually better than what you see in other media. Same name right there as the first episode. I'd like to point out the differences in this comic book review compared to the TV show episode 1. So if you didn't see the first episode of season 1, spoilers. And if you didn't read the comic book yet, spoilers. But if you saw one or the other, then you know what to expect. And I'm just going to analyze it for you, the first issue, why I think the TV show is better, and compare what happened then versus what happened here. Comic book issue. Right here is shootout. Next thing you know, he gets shot. And on the very next page, he wakes up in the hospital. Right there. That's it. Shot, wakes up in the hospital. If you saw the TV show, it was nicely drawn out. The gun battle, the sequencing. But what was really nice is after he was shot, you saw a transition between him waking up and what happened. You saw like he was in a haze and things around him were changing. That was a nice sequence that not in the comic book. When he wakes up, calling for a nurse, stumbling around, and he's just looking around. But if you saw the TV show, just the acting, you know, the TV show was so dramatic in terms of the acting, in terms of what's going on. And as much as you want in a comic book, when you have sound, when you have moving pictures, when you have music added, it just adds such another dimension that can't be captured in a comic book. I mean, it's a different medium, so you really can't compare the two, but when it's done right, a movie or television show, I mean, when it's on point and when it's done right, it's hard to top. Basically here, he's getting out of the hospital and he's stumbling around. But if you saw the first episode, you saw all the bodies, which you didn't see here outside the hospital. You saw just a whole dramatic sequence in terms of that first episode. Here it seems pretty rushed and it's just happening real quick. But the television show was much more engaging. Here is the sad zombie, just like encountered in the first episode. And he took a bike here, getting home. He sees his home, and the next thing you notice, he gets whacked in the head. But what happened in the television show was better. Before he got whacked in the head, he saw a zombie that was going to get him, and he just thought it was a human and didn't know what was going on. A little difference between the episode here and the comic book is that over here in the comic book, Morgan Jones here, he's a pretty nice guy. And in the TV series in episode 1, he's pretty much a jerk. He starts out, Rick is chained up and he's suspicious of Rick. Here he's not suspicious, he's more helpful. But eventually at the end in the TV series, he gets more like the comic book and becomes pretty cool as a character in the episode. Here they go into the police station, just like at a television show, and shower up, and he suits up. Television show follows the sequence pretty quickly. He sees a zombie at the gate, and they decide a little different in the television show. They part ways, and you see here, the comic book ends when he puts that zombie out of its misery, and that's how the chapter ends. And this is a spoiler from the first season. You see what happens to this character. of Amy. Basically, she gets bitten in this sequence, and Andrea is trying to deal with it, right? But that's about it in the comic book, how it was handled. But how actress Lauren Holden and how they directed it in the season 1 episode, it was like 10 times more dramatic, emotional, and better than the comic book sequence. I mean, the actress, Andrea of Lauren Holden, I mean, she just really did outstanding work in that episode. And it was just, as I said, in the comic book, sequence happens real quick. But in the episode, just so much more dramatic and better. And you can't tell me that the comic book sequence was better than the television show sequence, because that television show sequence was outstanding. That good. So what the comic book started, the television show improved upon, and they also improved upon the Shane character. Shane in the comic books, you never really see his full potential, but in the television show, I mean, he is a kick-ass character of many layers that the comic book missed an opportunity to fully explore to that dimension and character development. So the TV show really is rocking with the Shane character. And even what happens to Jim in the comic book, well, it's pretty cool what happens in the comic book. The television show, as I said, it's better in terms of the portrayal of Jim. Comic book is really great in its own right, but if I had to compare the two, the television show is just so much more engaging, emotional, and you have great acting, you have the movement of pictures, the sounds, the music. It's, as I said, one of those rare things that the other version of the media, in this case a television show, does better than the comic book. But by all rights, the comic book is great, but just a television show, taking it to a new level. And I've seen zombie movies before, and I'll tell you straight up that the first episode of The Walking Dead and the first season of those zombies is far better than most zombie movies with bigger budgets that have been made. So it's a television show, but the quality is better than most zombie movies, and it's a movie in itself, I would say, in terms of how it's produced. Watch The Walking Dead television show. It's on the 2nd season so far. It's going to have a 3rd season. Buy the comic book. Enjoy. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later.